Welcome to Mission Stories for Kids with Uncle Gordon, where you will hear first-hand accounts of answers to prayer and miracles from God. Oh, by the way, I think adults will like this too.
G'day boys and girls, lovely to be with you. Uncle Gordon here again today. Patrick was a man I had gotten to know a little bit simply because his younger brother used to come along to some exercise programs that I was running for young men. Patrick wanted to know a little bit more about what I stood for, who I was. You see, Patrick grew up on the island of Malata. His father was a devil priest. A devil priest on that island was one who served bad angels. In the very first place, God made all angels good, but a whole lot of them rebelled. The Bible tells us that 1/3 of all the angels rejected God's leadership, and they are out to try and make trouble for people. And all these people on that little island, they were part of that family of bad angels, and he used to offer pigs as sacrifice on a regular basis. This is the dad, who was a devil priest, and he used to have all sorts of weird and terrible things take place in their lives. Patrick wanted to know what I stood for. So I began to share with him from the Bible about God, how much he loved and how much he cared, and about the angels and the angels that his father served. And during that time of sharing the Bible, Patrick made a decision. He said, I want to be a Christian. I want to follow a God like that. I haven't heard about that kind of thing before. He was only just on his road to learning more and more about God when he went back to visit his father, just for holiday time when his older children were at school, and he took his little daughter Maureen, who was just 4 years old, with him. While he was there visiting his dad, he was going to stay for 2 weeks, but his dad kept saying to him, Patrick, the evil angels that I'm part of, they want you to take my place. They want you to be the next devil priest. And Patrick said, oh no, Dad, that's not going to happen. I don't want to be part of that. I'm going to be a Christian now. And the dad kept saying, no, Patrick, you can't be a Christian. You can't. You're going to be the next one to replace me as the next devil priest. And after a week of being pushed and pushed and pushed, Patrick said, Dad, I can't stand this anymore. I'm going back home to Honiara, where I live now. And his father, as he took off in the canoe and started the outboard motor and off he went, his father yelled out, but the evil angels won't be happy. They'll be after you. They'll try and hurt you. Patrick, it'll be bad for you if you don't say yes. Anyway, he was soon out of earshot of Dad, but he noticed something terrible was happening. He noticed sharks starting to come in from all around the ocean, and they were coming and banging against his canoe, and they were trying to capsize him to eat him. They were trying to bang the canoe to turn him over. And for his first time, he began to talk to God himself. He said, God of Pastor Smith, I haven't talked to you before, but please look after me. I want to be part of your family, part of those who love you, because I do love you now, so please keep me safe. All the way back through the 70 kilometres of open sea, Patrick had these sharks banging against the canoe, but there was a stronger hand keeping him safe. But that night, something terrible began to happen at home. He woke up with Maureen screaming, and he came and had a look, and he could see finger marks around her neck. There were evil angels trying to kill her, and they were squashing her neck and stopping her breathing, and then before she gasped her last breath, they'd let go again. They were just tormenting her. And after a little while it stopped. The second night, the same thing happened. Then the third night, the same thing happened, and he had this feeling that they were going to kill her tonight. This was it. And so he came rushing down to my place and called me and said, can you come home with me? Quickly, I think my little daughter Maureen is going to die tonight. And so I rushed with him back to his home. And as I walked into his little thatch home, I could feel an evil presence there. I could feel something terrible going on. And as I looked down at little Maureen, I could already see little fingers pushing against her neck, squashing her neck. I couldn't see the fingers, but I could see the finger marks on her neck. I couldn't see the angels, but I could feel they were there. I could even smell they were there. It was frightening, not a happy place to be in. Already a lot of the family had gathered around because they all sensed that tonight Maureen was going to die. And so I shared for a little while before I prayed with them about God, who is the supreme being. Yes, there are good angels and there are bad. But God's good angels have much more power because they have the power from God. And they can push away the other angels. God himself, if he came, he could make her safe. And then I prayed. And I asked God to please send his angels there to that little home, to push the other angels away, to protect Maureen and to keep her safe and let her grow up knowing and loving God like her dad was learning to do. And as I finished praying, all of a sudden it was like a hurricane hit that room. That little house began to shake as I could hear like a huge wind rushing around the house, probably faster than any wind I've ever been in, even though I've been in many cyclones. And the wind was around and around and around the house. And I thought, what's going on? What's going on? And everybody in the room was shaking with fear, wondering what was going to happen. Were they all going to die? And all of a sudden there was peace. Everything began to go quiet and calm. Even the cicadas in the trees and the insects that were there in the tropics, in the bush all around, all came to life again. They'd all been quiet while this battle was going on. And I sensed that day that the bad angels didn't want to go. And they were being chased around and around the house by the good angels, and at last they were flicked away. And God was in control in Maureen's life. Each night I came back for a number of nights just on sunset, because they often got nervous at sunset when the darkness came in, and just again invited God to be around their home, God to be present, so that they had nothing to fear because God had set up his camp in their place. They had no more troubles, and I had the joy of seeing Patrick totally give his life and his family's life to God, and to be baptised as a symbol of that choice for God, from heathenism to Christianity. What a wonderful, exciting miracle God did in his life and in little Maureen's life. Boys and girls, God loves you, and he wants to be part of your life. And no matter what terrible things are going on around, God can intervene. God can give you safety, protection and care if you're willing to put your trust in him and to choose God to be part of your life. May you make that choice today for him. God bless, boys and girls.
You've been listening to Mission Stories for Kids with Uncle Gordon, a production of 3ABN Australia Radio.